Why the most dangerous people never raise their voice. The person who has caused the most damage in your life probably never screamed at you once. They did not need to. The loudest, most dramatic abusers are actually the easiest to identify and the easiest to leave. Everyone around you can see it. The behavior is recognizable. The harm is documentable. The quiet ones are different. The quiet ones use dark psychology and covert manipulation in a register so subtle that the damage accumulates for years before you can name it. And when you finally try to describe what happened, you cannot. Because there is nothing dramatic to point to. There is only a feeling, a pervasive bone-deep feeling that something has been taken from you that you cannot get back. And you have no idea how it happened. Today, dark psychology is going to show you exactly how it happened. Here is why this is more urgent than any other conversation you will have this week. Research on psychological abuse consistently shows that the most lasting damage is not caused by dramatic visible incidents. It is caused by sustained low-grade psychological pressure, applied through mechanisms specifically designed to avoid detection. The quiet abuser is more dangerous than the loud one, not in spite of their restraint, but because of it. Their restraint is the mechanism. Their calm is the weapon, and their ability to make you question your own account of events is the reason the damage lasts as long as it does. Here are the 6 methods quiet, dangerous people use to cause harm without ever raising their voice. The first method is the meaningful pause. The quietly dangerous person has learned to use silence as a precision instrument. Not the dramatic silent treatment, something subtler. A pause at the exact moment in a conversation where words would be expected. A hesitation before agreeing with something you said that lasts 1 beat too long. These pauses are not accidental. They are deployed with an understanding of exactly what your brain will do in the absence of the expected response. Your brain will fill the gap. It will generate the criticism that was not spoken. It will produce the doubt that was never stated. You will end up managing a reaction that was never expressed, defending yourself against a position that was never stated, and they will have caused the damage without leaving a single fingerprint. The second method is a gentle reframe. The quietly dangerous person never argues with you directly. They reframe. You express a feeling. They gently wonder if you might be misinterpreting the situation. You describe an event. They softly suggest you might be remembering it slightly differently from how it occurred. Each reframe arrives in the register of care, of thoughtfulness. What it is doing is replacing your account of your experience with theirs, over time, one gentle reframe at a time. This is gaslighting delivered at a frequency so low that it never triggers your alarm systems. And it is far more effective than the aggressive version precisely because it does not feel like an attack. The third method is the strategic compliment. The quite dangerous person has learned that the most effective way to deliver criticism is to do so within a compliment. You are so much smarter than you give yourself credit for, which is why I was surprised by that decision. Each statement begins with a genuine-sounding affirmation. Each statement ends with a criticism that makes it impossible to push back against the affirmation. Because you cannot argue against someone who just complimented you without appearing defensive or ungrateful. The criticism lands, the compliment provides cover. The fourth method is deliberate underreaction. The quietly dangerous person produces a specific effect by consistently responding to significant things with minimal visible reaction. Your achievement is met with a measured nod. Your enthusiasm is met with a carefully considered response that communicates engagement without reflecting your energy back. Over time, this underreaction has a specific effect. You start calibrating your outward enthusiasm to theirs. You start editing your excitement downward. You start presenting a more muted version of your own experience. You did not become a more reserved person. You were trained to become one. The fifth method is the question used as a verdict. The quietly dangerous person rarely makes direct negative statements. They ask questions. Are you sure that is the right approach? Do you think that is really what they meant? Have you considered how that might be perceived? Each question is technically neutral. Each question carries a clear implication. And because it is expressed as a question rather than a statement, you cannot argue against it without appearing to resist reasonable inquiry. The question is not seeking information. It is delivering a verdict while maintaining plausible deniability. And the verdict delivered repeatedly installs itself as your own internal voice. You begin asking yourself their questions without them in the room. That voice is not yours. It was installed through questions that were never actually questions. The sixth method is the exit used as leverage. The quietly dangerous person rarely threatens to leave directly. Instead, they create the ambient possibility of leaving as a permanent feature of the relationship environment. Through comments about needing space, through references to a time when things were different, through the specific quality of their distance, which makes their potential absence constantly felt without ever being stated. You are never managing an explicit threat. You are managing a persistent low-grade fear of loss that has no specific trigger and no specific resolution. That fear keeps you in a state of permanent low-level anxiety that is indistinguishable from your own emotional instability, until you understand where it came from. Here is how to recognize a quite dangerous person in your life right now. You often feel criticized without being able to identify a specific criticism. You have become significantly more reserved and self-editing since this person became central to your life. You hear their voice asking questions in your own internal monologue. You fear losing this relationship, a fear that feels disproportionate to any specific threat. And when you try to describe the problem to someone else, you cannot, and their inability to understand makes you feel more alone. Here are 3 concrete steps. Name the method out loud the next time it happens, not to them necessarily, to yourself or in writing immediately after it occurs. That is a meaningful pause deployed to produce self-doubt. That is a reframe delivered as concern. The act of naming it in the moment it occurs breaks the mechanism. You cannot be gaslit by something you have named accurately in real time. Reconnect with one piece of evidence of your own competence this week. Something documented. A message from someone who values your judgment, a decision that worked out. The quietly dangerous person's methods work by eroding your trust in your own perception. One piece of concrete evidence of your competence, revisited deliberately, begins to rebuild that trust. Test one internal voice that questions your judgment. Pick one question you hear in your own internal monologue that makes you doubt yourself. Trace it backward. Whose question is it originally? When did you first start asking yourself this? Who was present in your life when this doubt began? If the voice traces back to a specific person and a specific relationship, it is not your voice, and you are allowed to stop listening to it. This is the final video in the first series, but the Dark Psychology series continues. Next week, we will go deeper into the tactics that operate inside your mind without you knowing. The psychological operations are being run on you through language, money, and the people closest to you. Watch the full series in order. The playlist is linked in the description. Every video builds on the last. Subscribe to Dark Psychology Exposed Lab and hit the bell so you never miss a drop. Drop one word in the comments that describes how the quietest, most dangerous person in your life has made you feel. One word. I read every single one.